it feels like the fighting is really intensifying in the Donbass region. What is your update on what the situation is?
Yes, unfortunately, there is fearful fighting ongoing in the east of the country, and unfortunately, also bombardments of cities across the country are continued by Russian Federation. Also, fighting is ongoing in the northern eastern part and southern part of Ukraine. So the situation is not getting easier on us, and that's why for us it's extremely important that there is a continued stream of military support coming to Ukraine, because the urgency, the quality, and the quantity of the weaponry that could be provided by our partners is basically critical for our ability to withhold this attacks.
It feels as if much of the story of the war so far has been about Ukrainian success in repelling forces from Kyiv, in taking back some territory more recently. Are you concerned that as Russia focuses on the east of the country, that narrative might be changing?
It's not about the narrative. We don't have many options on the table. We have to survive in this war that when the aggressor has come to erase us from the map of the world, and we want to live and want to build our country and want to preserve our nation. So therefore, we have to win. And that might require all resolve, that might require all our ability to fight, and a lot, unfortunately. It already takes a lot of best Ukrainians' lives, from the military and also from the civilians. So therefore, it's not about the narrative. We have to push it against Russian Federation. And yes, unfortunately, at this particular moment, when Russia has gathered all its military capacity in the east of the country, we are losing some of the territories, and they are staying at this particular moment in the hands of occupiers. But we hope there will be a moment and the possibility for us to get those territories and people back.
You're talking about the need for more weapons, for more supplies from the West. What is the situation with supplies? There have been some reports about people even running out of ammunition.
Well, the supplies are coming in, and we are extremely grateful for all those nations that are making this effort and that are also showing example to those who have been hesitating or who have been much slower on this track. But at this particular moment, definitely, this is still not enough for us to have the enough artillery capability, enough multiple launch rocket systems capability to fight back all those rockets and artillery and tanks that are coming from Russian Federation. They are not counting the munitions. They have just more than enough. While sometimes, unfortunately, in some of the areas, the ratio of our weaponry is 1 to 10 with the Russians.
Yeah, that really is a pretty stark example there, that ratio that you've just given to us. There's been a bit of criticism about some European countries about being too slow to show support for Ukraine. Do you feel that that's changed this week with the news from the EU that you've been given membership candidate status, and also, of course, the visit to Ukraine from the leaders of Germany, France and Italy?
I think it was very important visit of those leaders of the EU, and very important that they have finally made up their minds to support the candidacy of Ukraine to join the European Union. However, I would also like to underline that that decision, which I think is totally, right thing to do at this particular moment for Ukrainian people and for Ukrainian state, should not dismiss the other needs of our country, and those are I call it as a major humanitarian aid for Ukraine in terms of actually getting weaponry Unfortunately, we are not getting enough from those particular states, and like Germany has been giving smaller weaponry, and we understand that was already a big change in their policy. But so far, heavy weaponry does not come really from that country, and I think it's a big mistake of Germany trying to kind of postpone those decisions so far. But I hope that after Chancellor Scholz and after the other leaders have actually seen the ruins and destruction that Russians have brought on our land near Kyiv with their own eyes, maybe that could change their actually personal readiness to take the decisions on additional weaponry for us to protect, because we are protecting ourselves.
And how does it contrast with the UK? Boris Johnson, of course, made his second visit to Kyiv this week.
We extremely appreciate his visits and his real, very clear stance on the need to support Ukraine by the free world, by free countries, and we are grateful for his leadership. I think to an extent, maybe his visit has kind of balanced the need to talk and prioritize the security and the military assistance at this particular moment in comparison to what the other leaders the day before have been talking about. So we would like others to also follow the path and follow the example of Britain in terms of Britain and the US in terms of helping us with the weaponry.
And just finally, I've been talking to you as a politician so far, and I'd like to kind of finish by talking to you as a mother. I've read some of your interviews previously, and I think you're a mum of teenagers, and I just wonder how it is for you, having children in the middle of a war. How do you parent? How do you explain to them what is going on, and how do you make them feel reassured?
Thank you for asking. I think this is probably the most challenging part of our jobs today, so to say, to ensure that that they are getting that support that. And that we are there for them, because we cannot, unfortunately, spend enough time with our kids at all at this particular moment when you are preoccupied with serving the country, and sometimes you have to actually choose the responsibility in front of the country as a first and major option, and then going and helping. Even psychologically or emotionally helping your children. But we are trying to do that, all of us who are moms who are in the parliament or in the governmental positions. It's tough. They are, I think, the generation of our kids. That's my feeling from what my daughters are telling me. One is 16, another is 19. And this is the generation that will not forgive Russians in the destruction, the death, the pain that they have brought on our land. And it's not because we are teaching them this. It's because what they are watching and how they are watching the situation developing and how they are becoming, very full. They are full of pain. They are full of desire to engage and to help. So they are volunteering for different things and trying to do their least, at least something that they can do their most to help also the armed forces. And that's I think shows also the incredible unity of the society, because the society is comprised of those little tiny bits and little human stories that they have. And I hope they can come back to Kyiv. They are not in Kyiv in this particular moment. They really want to go to come back home, but so far we do not feel that it is safe enough for them to be home.
That's really. I hope that situation changes for you soon, and that Kyiv is safe enough for your daughters to return. Thank you so much for talking to us this week.
Thank you.